The Backrooms. Reality has seams. Some people slip through. James Herrera didn't believe in ghost stories. He believed in code ones and zeros, clean design, and synthetic rules. He liked the sharp certainty of it. But that all shattered the moment the screen blinked and took reality with it. He had been working late, nothing new, testing an experimental VR game at a tech startup in San Jose. It was meant to simulate procedural dreamscapes. Layered reality. Immersion beyond consciousness, the marketing team called it. Bullshit, he thought. But it paid well. He slipped on the headset, expecting the usual debug menu. Instead, the screen flashed white. Then static. Then something is wrong. Something organic. And then silence. When James opened his eyes, the office was gone. So was the headset. So was the world. He was standing in a narrow yellow hallway, surrounded by buzzing fluorescent lights. There were no windows. No furniture. No exit sign. The air was thick. Not hot. Not cold. Just wrong, like it had never been breathed before. He turned around. More hallway. The yellow wallpaper. Water-stained. Peeling in long, curled strips that fluttered without wind. The carpet was moist under his shoes, like stepping on a sponge soaked in foul water. It smelled like wet drywall and iron and something rotting in the vents. Then he heard it, the hum. A low, buzzing drone that never stopped. It wasn't just overhead. It was inside his skull. Like it had always been there. James started walking. He took mental notes at first. Hallway forks left. Turned right. Noted the mold pattern on the wall. Left again. Clockwise pattern. Repeating texture. It didn't help. The environment shifted subtly, door frames appearing where none had been before, corners stretching wider or tightening unnaturally. Every corridor looked the same until it didn't. He found dead ends that hadn't been there seconds ago. When he turned around, the path behind him was gone. The walls shifted while he wasn't looking. A surreal manipulation of reality, like being inside a dream that knew it was dreaming. Then came the scratching. Soft. Distant. Like nails against wood. But rhythmic. Following. He froze. Turned. Nothing. Then movement just at the edge of his vision. A shadow crossed the hallway far behind him. Not walking. Crawling. That's when he started running. His breath echoed like it didn't belong to him. The lights above flickered faster the deeper he went, humming like angry bees. The walls began to pulse subtly, like the whole place had veins. He passed a mirror. Except it wasn't a mirror. It was a piece of glass in the wall, behind it, a room identical to the hallway he was in, but someone was watching. Not a reflection. It was smiling. Eventually, James stumbled into a metal hatch. It didn't open, it gulped open, like a mouth sighing in hunger. The next level was colder. Gone was the yellow wallpaper. This was concrete and rust. Walls covered in mold, pipes stretching like tangled intestines. The ceiling was low and dripping a viscous black liquid. The floor crunched under his shoes, not dirt. Not rubble. Teeth. Human molars. Scattered. Cracked. The hum remained. But now it had grown a voice, low whispers buried in static. He thought he heard his name, like 1,000 mouths chewing it in the dark. James. Elevators lined the far wall. None had buttons, just flickering panels reading ERR 9999. One door twitched open an inch, just enough for him to hear breathing inside. He didn't go in. Instead, he took the stairs. They spiraled downward like a sinkhole, each step darker than the last. On the third landing, he saw it. A figure. 7 feet tall. Slouched. Wearing a torn suit jacket and a mask made of printer paper, a smiley face drawn in crayon. The mask turned first. Then the head. Then the body cracked into motion like breaking twigs. James backed up. The figure followed. He bolted. As he ran, he passed dozens more of them. Standing still. Pressed against the walls. All wearing paper faces. All turning to watch him pass. Some doors weren't doors. He opened one marked exit and found himself standing in a chamber made of skin. Walls breathing. Floor pulsing like a muscle. Light leaked through cracks shaped like veins. Here, there were no lights. Just bioluminescent sacs pulsing on the walls, filled with twitching bugs. He stepped into a hallway that collapsed behind him like a throat. Something chased him. He didn't look. He just ran. Screaming. Gagging. Slipping in fluid that wasn't water. The hallway laughed, a gurgling, wheezing sound like a dying man trying to giggle. At the end of the hall was a ladder. He climbed until his arms bled. Above him, he emerged into his apartment. The light was soft. The smell was right. Couch. Books. Family photos. Even his dog, Baxter, wagged its tail and whined with joy. James collapsed onto the carpet, sobbing. He turned to look at his bookshelf. His childhood photo albums. And there, sitting on the shelf, was a note in his handwriting. "This isn't real. Don't let her speak to you." Then came the voice. "Jamie?" His mother's voice. Soft. Comforting. Calling from the kitchen. He stood up. Trembling. "Mom?" She stepped around the corner, but her legs were backward. Her face was made of loose skin draped over bone. Her eyes are too big. Her teeth are too white. "You're safe now, baby." He screamed as the walls melted again, revealing more yellow. More hum. He was back. James doesn't know how long it's been. Time doesn't work here. Sometimes he hears new voices. A little girl is crying in the distance. A man laughing manically. A group whispering in circles. He finds sticky notes written by versions of himself. Some hopeful. Some insane. He's mapped 134 levels. Some made of water. Some upsides down. Sometimes you are the monster and chase others. But there is no exit. Only layers. Now, James leaves note for others. Scratches warnings into the walls. If you find this, don't trust the lights. The smiling ones aren't people. You can still forget yourself. It's kinder that way. Sometimes he thinks he's not James anymore. He's a hallway. A buzz. A shadow at the edge of someone else's vision. The backrooms take what you are and repurpose you. You don't escape. You become. Do you hear that? That low, mind-numbing hum? It's closer than you think. And if you ever feel like the world flickered, just for a moment, don't move. You might already be inside. If you're not careful and you knock-lip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old, moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, and the endless background noise of fluorescent lights.